Welcome back to Bruges, everybody. At Tom's Tourney 2019, we have the women's pre-quarter matchup. Nice Bristol Ultimate in red from the UK versus the French national team in white. I'm Rai Vasudevan here for Ulti.tv alongside Liam Grant. Liam, how you feeling for this? Well, looks like the sun's coming out for this showcase match here between these two women's powerhouses.
Yeah, the sun is out. The game has started. No time to rest here. It's one game straight after the other here at Tom's Tourney. France starting on offense. There is no halftime, so a bit of advantage there.
And we're off. This looks like Bristol putting a bit of a poachy look. France carving through it pretty easily so far, though, as Maeva Koussi swings the disc over to Marion Tourney. Tourney, one of the key handlers on this team, out to Pauline Berthe. Berthe over to Danier. Danier tries to get a cheeky inside back to Berthe, but it's just a little too difficult in this wind. Couldn't get it off, and Bristol will get a chance to break here in this first point.
Yeah, looks like they're setting up a kind of a split stack or a side stack. Oh no, it is a side stack. Is it a side stack, Ravi?
Yeah, it looks like that. Well, it's a side stack with an ISO person. Yeah, it seems like that's what they're going with. Trying to get Ruth Taylor isolated into space for this primary cut. Taylor, that was just a bit too difficult of a space as Aline Mondial, the talisman of this team, picks this disc up. Gets it over to Koussi. Koussi puts up a big one for Berthe. Can she track this one down? And Berthe can. That's Pauline Berthe from Grenoble getting the first point here for the French, 1-0 in this pre-quarter matchup.
Yes, this is the pre-quarters. France women coming bottom of power pool losing, I think, all their games to Amsterdam, Swiss national team, and Cusp Shout, but a chance to maintain a quarterfinal spot if they can win this matchup. Bristol Ultimate, as they're definitely called, and not called anything else offensive. Made it through the lower pools for the chance of this crossover. Must have got the win against Scram. I don't have the score there, but we can only presume that they beat Scottish team Scram.
That would make sense, as Scram, I believe, won their other games as well. So it would have to be that in order for that to make sense.
Oh, I do believe the other crossover is not happening. If it was the Dutch women's national team, is that correct?
That is correct. The other crossover would be the Dutch women's national team versus Great Britain Masters. The Dutch national team had some injuries and some people who had to leave the tournament to go play beach. So they're on a very short roster, and they decided they didn't want to play another game today, so they forfeited the pre-quarter to GB. So GB Masters will be advancing to the pre-quarter round, to the quarterfinal round, sorry, and that's why we shifted this game over. So we have France and Bristol for you here as France come out in a zone. Bristol putting up a big one to Ange Wilkinson. Ange comes down with it. Very, very talented and experienced player. Gets a nice cross-field throw over to number 17.
I think Mondial kind of traveled there, but I think that's because she was in the end zone when she caught it.
That might have been, I think, but she definitely didn't come back out of the end zone before she threw it, so Carla Link having to get the disc on the end zone line, and a violation is called. Here we see a replay on that swingy pass. No, that's Ange making the catch. Here it's coming. Oh, we're back into action here. So Carla Link with the disc on the end zone line. Pretty good defense from the French so far. A big high release to Ange, and Ange collects it well. The experienced ex-Iceni, ex-GB star coming back for Bristol right now, making big plays for the ladies in red.
Yeah, I think just lob it up to Ange seems like a good strategy here.
It's worked out twice so far.
Yeah. Yeah, you got lucky there, your picks there, the GB Masters women. One of your picks for the semifinals, was that correct?
That is correct, Liam.
Yeah, so. And get it by to the quarterfinals. Walking away there.
I definitely didn't bribe the Dutch national team at all, I can tell you that for sure. I don't know any of them.
Probably will have a tough matchup, I believe, against Cusp Shout in the quarterfinals.
That would be a tough one, yes. And that's, I think that's the way it goes. That would make sense that that's the way the crossover works.
It would make sense. That's all we know.
Yeah, because it would be, the crossover pool. So the winner of this pre-quarter match is going to have to play against Desky, who ended up winning the other power pool, Irish women's team. Doing very well so far at this tournament, losing one game to the Swiss national team, but aside from that, being pretty flawless, I think. in all their games, as we're going to get the first chance here to see the French O-line step onto the field. Actually, France plays 2 lines that each get to play 2 points. So this is just the other line now. It's not really O and D. And Bristol coming out in match defense here as France get off to the races. You see Elise Samarco trying to break free of her defender. But eventually that shutdown defense from Bristol paying off, and Ruth Taylor getting the D there. But
it's
there
actually
seems to be a stall out before that.
Uncontested stall as well.
So credit there to Bailey Melvin Tang for the hot mark, and also credit there to Lyndon Chiang for really completely shutting down Elise Samarco there on the dump defense. So now, Bristol with a chance to get a break here. Center of the field. Gets it over to Jess Taylor. Jess Taylor puts up a big shot, and it's going to be too high for the likes of Bailey Melvin Tang there. So France will get another shot here.
Yeah, Bailey Melvin Tang, big ups there, definitely launched into the air. But just jumped a little too early.
Samarco to pick up the disc. Samarco, one of the key handlers for the AUPUC team from Paris. Trying to make things interesting this year in the French national scene, actually, or the French. The other club besides Yaka from Paris, PUC, actually had a practice game against Yaka and ended up winning that one. But here, the French unable to keep things together as Nice Bristol gets another short field defensive turnover. So far, not getting another option. Just trying to jam that one through for that inside shot. I usually like that throw, but that one a bit too much there for the Bristol receiver, and France is going to get another chance to work it down the field. But so far, this French line has not had a lot of easy throws, easy options so far, not really generating space and having to force some difficult things, and Bristol doing a great job on defense so far.
Yeah, you know, I don't know if I like this tactic of these kind of 2 points per line. I think, you know, you have only O&D lines for most teams for a reason. Like, I want Aileen Monju playing every offensive point we have, probably, if I was the coach.
Well, Coach Jan Toussaint does not agree with you, as there seems to be a little help grab there as Josephine Wolf comes down with the disc, even though it was not meant for her. Sorry, that is Cécile Patel. Big throw around. Oh, great run there by Vanina Bourdier, but she is not able to come down with it. And I believe there's a foul on the throw.
Yeah, there was contact with the neck, which is... And it is a turnover. It's a retracted foul call.
So Bristol with, I believe, their 3rd or 4th opportunity now. The big Aubrichon making the mark on Georgia Murphy. Georgia puts up a big disc, and Elise Samarco able to get that one and clean up that for the French.
That was pretty much the same shot again, this to the downwind corner of the end zone. Very difficult to hit that. Some French players poaching off as well.
You see Aubrichon here to pick up the disc. One of the bigger players in stature. Talking about large stature French players, the French are missing Daniela Rodriguez, the Colombian French woman, talismanic figure for France, and that one's going to be eaten up. It's Bristol's now with another chance. Georgia Murphy with the disc on the sideline. Inside break. Over to Jess Taylor. Taylor looking for an option. Doesn't like what she sees. Good defense from the French right now. Back to Murphy, who puts up a big throw, and that one's not going to work. Just a bit too much on it, a bit too much defensive pressure.
Yeah, Murphy with the blinkers on there. There was someone in the lane as she was trying to get that disc off. That's 2 turnovers now from her in this point.
But I do have to say, though, there's been a lot of turnovers. France haven't been able to move the disc up in their favor in any way. It's just been, there's another defensive play, and that's eventually going to, oh, Bristol could not hold on to that one.
Bailey Melvin Tang has been all over the field. Already several defensive plays, shutting down so many people.
And here, Elise Samarco is able to get things going a little bit for the French. First time so far this point. Back to Samarco. Getting the boomerang cut for the back. Nice around throw. Over there to Elisa Bruni. Actually an Italian playing for the French. Aude Richon now with the disc. Now the French side actually getting some flow and some movement. And we see the disc in the hands of Wolf. Back to Richon. Nice swing over to Samarco. Finally, this French offense is looking good. Static again. Shot over to Pitot. Pitot to Richon. Richon puts up a big throw to Bruni, and she's able to collect it. But there's a pick called. Defense definitely stopped running at some point. I did not see the pick actually happen.
Yeah, I think she's saying she's just going to catch up, that she didn't have a play in the disc, but would have been closer.
So Bruni now with an opportunity to score this upwind point. Eventually finding Samarco with that nice swing. Samarco now with the disc in the middle of the field. Everyone's in front of her, but no one's really moving. She puts up the disc to Bruni, and Bruni comes down with it for a great catch. Great find from Samarco there, and France able to hold on to make it 2-1 here in this pre-quarter matchup.
Yeah, Bailey and Melvin Tang had been fantastic throughout that point, but got caught out face guarding her matchup there, so didn't see that inside throw put up into space. And for a while there, I didn't think France looked like they were going to score this point. I did not know where it's coming from, but able to grind it out there unders. I don't know if they have a lot of deep throwers on that particular line.
No, I don't think they do, but they do have, like, the likes of Samarco is a great, quick, short space handler, but they don't have anyone who can really huck it deep. Maybe Aude Richon can get one off, but I think Bristol recognized that and was trying to defend their unders and got, I think, 4 or 5 turnovers in the end, like the red zone, but couldn't convert that, Liam. That's though they should be feeling good about their defense, you got to be able to score 1 or 2 of those.
Yeah. Bristol's here seeming like 15 fit players at the moment. Ali Tinknell, or Ali Smith, as maybe she likes to be called. I butchered her name a couple of times. One of my fellow Athletes Commission members unable to make it because I believe her dog is ill. So shout out to Ali's dog. Hope it's doing okay.
Definitely hope so. She's listed as Tinknell on the roster. So.
I think she told me Ali Smith because I was butchering the name so much that she'd accept that.
So now France coming out in the zone here as Bristol are so far doing an okay job working through it. A lot of space in front of the cup, but nobody really crashing through it. They're trying to pop it over, and there's a hand on it, and Pauline Bertz gets her big stature involved as Mondio gets to pick up the disc. I do think that the other French line was only allowed to play 1 point since that one was so long, so they threw the other one out there now. It's Pauline Bertz and Mondio were on the first 2 lines. Mondio now at the disc in the middle of the field. The Offensive Player of the Year runner-up, I believe, last year in Europe. Very skilled thrower. Pauline Bertz now. Travel is called, she moves back. Gets it over. It's Cousy. Sorry, that's Ledoux who ends up throwing the disc into the turf and giving Bristol an opportunity for a break.
We see this four-person cup set up again. And look, if you're going to lash it up to Ange Wilkinson, if we learned anything from before.
Worked before. I think they tried to lash it up to Ange Wilkinson there, but the throw was definitely not on.
Yeah, right idea. It needed to be floatier and bobblier, I think.
And Charlotte Daniez doing a good job of kind of drawing Ange Wilkinson into that space. As now the French doing really well with Combray in acres of open space, getting it over to Emile Nedelec. Ledoux now. Not seeing much, puts up a prayer of a blade, and that one's not going to go anywhere except maybe to the opposing sideline. Rolling back a bit, as I imagine the French are going to keep putting on this 4-person cup. Very effective so far against Bristol. There's a lot of space in that cup if you want to crash it and then maybe go through after the next pass, but so far they have not been able to attack it in that way. Going for high release passes and just lashing it high, and it worked in the first point, but so far not that effective. That's exactly what I'm talking about there. There they find the hole, so after the crash, disrupt the cup a little bit. Now we got it in the hands of the experienced Wilkinson. Wilkinson gets it over to Link. Link puts up a big disc. Beaching now. Beaching gets hand blocked by Mondiaux, and
that looked clean to me. She just swatted it just down out of the air.
See if we get a replay here. That looks like a hand block in my book.
Uncontested,
it ended up being an uncontested foul. I think she's claiming the disc was still in her hands. It's a little tough to tell on the replay.
With that backhand to the flick side, it's actually really hard not to foul. It's true, though.
That is true, yes. So Bristol with a chance to get a hold here. This would just be a hold, though it's been difficult for them so far. They have broken through the zone, though, and now they're back into person defense. Beaching gets it back to Sorensen and gets it back to Beaching. Beaching all over that point. Alice Beaching, traditionally a very strong player for Bristol, doing it all for her team there. 2-2 the score now, even things up.
Yeah, looked like that cut was off, but definitely has maybe the matchup against Mondiaux. Nice outside in. Blady flick, just gets around the defender.
So far things even. Offense to offense, even though France isn't playing O-lines, scoring their O-line points anyways.
We'll have the men's quarterfinals coming up after this, Ravi, and then women's quarters.
That is correct. We've got 2 more games, 3 more games today. Don't forget about the showcase game tonight against France versus Belgium. France men's versus Belgium men's, that is. Going to put on a little show for us as we eat our dinner and drink a few Bruchsezots. So I did like that French zone. They definitely caused a lot of problems for Bristol there. Finally able to get it off, but like I said, it did take going through the cup, crashing into that big space they were allowing for them to break through. When they were trying to go over, it just wasn't working for them. And Wilkinson helping out there, and then Beaching doing all the work once they broke through. Now the disc goes up as Aline Mondiaux, Rasta, trying to take care of things here. Nedlek. Back to Mondiaux. Nice, easy pass to Combray. Combray back to Nedlek. Nice around pass to Bert. A little bit of a low throw there, Bert. Cousine not able to get her hands on that one. As Bristol will have a chance to get a break here. As Lodge puts up a big disc, and that one is D'd up by Nalini Gasson. Mondiaux now, back to Gasson. Catched it through the pressure. Gasson puts it up. Nice flow here from the French so far. Nice defensive effort there. As Bristol get the disc back, another chance to break. Big throw. Pauline Bertz will be underneath it, and that big body able to get the D.
Yeah, that deep shot was on, maybe just a little underthrown.
I do like that. Lyndon Chang's been doing really well on defense, and now the deep shot's going to go up. Height mismatch is a bit more in France's favor this time as Pauline Bertz now past her attacking brick mark, looking for a chance to score. Mondiaux going up line, fakes it, gets it back, looking for the continued swing to Nedlek. Nedlek has it. Oh, a little bit of continue there, but puts up a big flick. And what a nice point there from the French as Adelaide Combray picks up the score to make it 3-2 in favor of the ladies in white from France.
Yeah, Bristol's playing some good ultimate on defense, but then their offense has not been clicking too well. Going into this game and after the first point, I was picking Bristol's to win, but France starting to get some momentum here, taking the lead.
I mean, France has had the lead so far. It's been 0 point for 0 point. Yet to be a break in this game. France seems to be fielding about 40 players at this point. No, it's whittling down to 7 now.
Do you know how many players have on the roster, Ravi?
I don't know exactly how many. It looks like they have about, I'll let you count that off. Probably about 20, I would guess.
21, Ravi.
21. I do know their system is that they are, everybody, when your line is on and you're ready to play, you step on the line, and it's the coach's job to call people off. So I guess, yeah, about each line has about 10 to 11 people. And so there, maybe all of them were ready to play. And then the coach had to decide which 7 he wanted.
I like that power. If you've ever been a coach of a team, it's great calling people off the line.
Calling people off.
It's way nicer than calling them on.
A little bit of a false start there. As Elisa Bruni pulls for France. And we'll see Wilkinson, no, sorry. Bristol doing a great job. Just a few passes here, great flow. France is crumbling into person-to-person defenses. There's a nice, easy inside break pass, almost lost out of the hands of Lily Spears, but she manages to hold on and keep the goal for Bristol. That was the easiest point we've seen so far this game. Bristol tying it up at 3-3.
Yeah, Alice Beeching going every other there towards the end of that point and been sensational so far in this game. I think her, Alice Beeching, and also Bailey, Melvin Tang have been my standouts on the Bristol team.
I would agree with you there, Liam. So Liam, this Bristol team, or at least a team that sounded like this Bristol team last year, ended up winning the UK Championships. They had a slightly different name, but after that they went to the UCF, didn't do quite as well there. Do you know at all what happened? Why it was so different between their UK nationals and their UCF performance?
One, I think they have Icini's number. You know, they've been going up against it for so long. They're thinking about their matchups. They know how they want to play against Icini. Well, going into the rest of Europe, you'll be a little more consistent. And yeah, I think they just have a good attitude towards Icini, and they go in all guns blazing. They really wanted to win a UK national title, but I'd like to see them. I think this year maybe they can do better in Europe. Got some of the old guns back. Really strong roster, as you said. Changed the name. Dare I say their name used to be Nice Bristols. I hope I haven't offended anyone.
I don't know if might have to bleep that for the live stream.
Yeah, yeah, they were called Boop Boop before. I think the club is around 20 years old, if not even older. So pretty late in the game to be changing the name. So Bristol's women actually have never won a UK title. Different team.
That's true there, but they are able to get a defense off of the French there. A little bit of miscommunication and a little bit of a poached block. As we see Bristol taking the field here with the short field. Last time they've had this in this situation a lot as Georgia Murphy gets it up to Melvin Tang. Melvin Tang with a low throw there, as Lin Chang had no chance of getting that one. Audrey Champ to pick up the disc. Last time this line was on, it took the likes of Bruni and Audrey Champ to do a lot of the heavy lifting. They also had Elise Samarco, but Elise Samarco seems to not be on the field this time, so we'll see. Interesting to see how they manage without her. Bruni puts up a big throw, and that one's D'd up by Jess Taylor. Jess Taylor gets it back to Georgia Murphy. Murphy looking for a break shot, but nice mark by the French, able to stop it and then force that throw after there's a late stall. I do think that Piazzolla Ramirez did get open, but I think there's a little too much pressure on the late stall count for Bristol women there. That's a bit of a high throw. Easily collected, though, by Josephine Wolf. Wolf looking for Rochon up the line. That one's going to be high and completely taken away by Piazzolla Ramirez, getting that one back for Bristol. But not doing them any favors with field position on that block, Liam. There's a big shot from Georgia Murphy. Melvin Tang's underneath it. Oh, she got her hand on it. But Anga Levalier able to pick up the defense. Again, this other French line struggling a lot offensively. They got to break through. Once they break through, they can get things moving, but that initiation is really struggling. Audrey Champ now with the disc. There's a pick call on the field.
Yeah, I think for, you know, to get the initiation cutter, it's great to have someone on the disc that scares the offense. You have someone like Mondieu or Joe Winder in the men's division that you're really scared of the deep shots, so you can get those free unders first.
Audrey Shaw with a little blade there, and that's not going to work. So now we have to get back on defense for the French as Bristol have a bigger field to work with. Though traditionally they do better with those than they do on the short field. Short field turnovers have not worked out so well. And here, Bristol now able to get something moving. There we have Chang on the disc, getting it up to Piazzolla Ramirez. Ramirez looking for options, gets it up, but that's a nice defense. Pressure there from Leila Baget-Limoges.
Ruth Taylor was actually free for about 3 or 4 seconds, and by the time the pass came, it was way too late. And Bristol's, when they have separation and give their cutters some space to work with, they're getting free at will.
Bruni with the disc up the line. Gets it to Fretenier.
Who toes in well with her Tokai cleats there.
The Tokai cleats. Bruni. Back to Fretenier. Fretenier, it looks like she was going to throw it, but not. Gets to Audrey Shaw. Starting to look okay. And there's the big blade. Is it going to work? Not this time. Got field position, though. You know, sometimes the defense wants to wear down an offense and then wait for them to make a mistake. It seems like this French lines has the opposite point of view. We're going to keep wearing down the defense. Eventually they'll get tired and then we're going to score. So now Bristol again, D-line, but then another D there from Baget-Limoges doing big things to the French on defense right now.
Yeah, the decision-making execution for Bristol is just it's not happening right now. I feel like the cutters are getting free as well. Just need to hit them.
That's Audrey Shaw managed to come up with that one. Great grab. She swings it around. Can there be a continue? Not yet. Pateau on the goal line and just not able to work it in. Quite a shame when you get that close to the red zone, especially with this line there. You need to capitalize on those opportunities. Here, a big disc goes up, but that one's going to be too far. Oh, I was almost having to eat my words there, Liam.
Yeah. So he's going to eat up the ground and make you eat those words, but then it's dropped at the very last second. I think she thought the same initially as well, but
the wind giveth, the wind taketh away as the French call their time out of this game. The score 3-3 is the French struggling to hold this offensive possession. Very impressed, though, with Baget-Limoges making big defensive plays there for France. And French they do continue to fight. I think this line has decent defense, forcing Bristol into bad options, but their offense is struggling. It's struggling right now, Liam. It's hard to say anything else.
It almost is like they have an O-line and D-line. They're just not playing them that way.
As the rain starts to come down a little bit here on our heads here in Bruges, that might change things up a bit. So what do you think here, Liam? You've seen a few points now. How these two teams are playing. Who do you think is playing with the upper hand at the moment?
I think Bristol's are the better team, but France are playing better, is what I'm assessing. And like Bristol's need to score this point. To me, it seems clear that France don't really have someone on this line that can flick hawk that well. We've seen 2 very bladey flick hawks. Like with that piece of information, you should be able to shut down the unders and press them. And they have got to this a lot, but have failed to play decent offense themselves when they've got it. We're back to some lovely hailstones here.
You just bring the hail wherever you go, Liam.
Yeah. Seems that way. Nice and sunny in Ireland right now.
What was the last game I called with you that was the hailstorm game, wasn't it, Liam? I think we should stay away from calling games together. Ow, that one hit me.
We got a slow-mo replay of Ravi getting hit by hailstone.
So France here. Adverse conditions. This can also be a difference maker, and who can handle these conditions better. You know what the weather is like in Bristol?
Nice in Bristol.